most of my reviews on there, I've seen authors, and some people are a bit targets in a way, and they do get kind of nailed a bit. And I did radio for a bunch of years, and luckily for me, when I was in radio, I that when you're in radio, you're a public figure. I had number one shows in a couple different cities and that sort of thing, and you get really targeted. So I got some really thick skin. You can say anything about me you want, but you actually made a great point, because there are occasions where somebody might come in there and say something negative about something you've written, or in particular, they don't like a character, and they might almost be apologizing. I'm sorry, I hate this one character, but that idea, you've incited somebody. You've connected with somebody so much, they were so annoyed and so hated that character, who was probably the villain, by the way, but hated that character so much that they actually went there and wrote something about it. But that's the connection. I mean, and that's for me, and I learned a bit about this when it came to radio. I just saw it as like almost like a math thing. If it's 5 stars or negative 5 stars, you couldn't give negative 5 stars. They mean exactly the same thing. The passion that somebody has, positive or negative, it's still positive. You've connected with somebody. If the writing wasn't any good, they'd be like, oh, it's fine. Didn't do anything for me. They wouldn't get all riled up. But you've connected to something in their core and you've riled them up. That's a positive. If somebody's putting negative reviews on your podcast, think what that takes. They've listened to that. They've grabbed their phone. They've gone into the app. They've gone into the edit feature. They've typed something with their thumbs. They've probably edited it and put in some curse words and put some stuff that's asterisks in there because can't put curse. Think of what the effort that takes to do that. That is a compliment. Somebody took time to dig into it. So no, I don't see it as a negative at all. I tell a lot of new authors, don't read your reviews. Or more specifically, if you do read the reviews, don't care too much. Don't love the great reviews too much. Because if you really go, look what this person said about me, the moment somebody has something negative, you're like going to be crushed. So I'm not bothered by it. And I'm really lucky with Kane. Because I've had stuff that, like I wrote one in 2012, would actually really early in the independent publishing game, it did stupidly well. It was the number one comedy book in December of 2012, and it had no right to be. It was totally goofy, and I had people that hated it. I mean, hated it. But like you were saying, I don't know. There's a guy that I know named Jason, who's another author, and he said that he loves the negative reviews because they're often quite descriptive. And the irony of that is somebody can say, well, I can't stand how I'm sitting here reading this and this person says this. And then just right when you think this is going to happen, suddenly something else happens. Well, somebody else might read that review and go like, well, I kind of like what you're talking about. Maybe you hated that, but as you described that in your rant there, that's kind of a bit of a sell. So these people, when they get all real negative, on occasion, that's an ad for your story. So bring it on. Totally fine. And who knows? Most negative reviews are going to be something coming from them in the first place. It's a little bit like your mother used to say, right? Oh, they're just jealous of you. But it's not necessarily going to be that, but it is going to be something inside of them. I really believe that 9 times out of 10, they've got some rant, they've got some bone to pick, or maybe somebody cut them off in traffic and they want to take it out on somebody, and you were the first entity they saw. So no, you don't take them very seriously at all. And to be honest, a review is a review. It's a positive. Positive or negative, it's a positive.